This month's podcasts are sponsored by Aubergine Legal. Do you sometimes worry that your business isn't meeting all its legal compliance requirements and wonder if you're ticking all the legal boxes? Are you losing sleep worrying about a piece of legislation that you may or may not be complying with? Perhaps you need some help with your client contracts or your data protection compliance. Or maybe you're worried that your website doesn't have the right documents or legal notices in the right place. Perhaps you have a brand that you want to protect with a trademark. How about if you could outsource it all and eliminate all of your worries? If so, then get in touch with Aubergine Legal, a friendly commercial legal consultancy offering practical and clear commercial legal advice without the overwhelming legal jargon, taking the worry away and helping you to protect your business and minimise your risks. Aubergine offers a free 30-minute consultation if you have any questions or want to find out if they can help, and you can access this link and book your free 30-minute call via the link in the show notes.
Welcome to the Bring Your Product Ideas to Life podcast. Practical advice and inspiration to help you create and sell your own physical products. Here's your host, Vicky Weinberg.
Hi, so today I wanted to record a quick episode to talk about something that I've been thinking about sharing for a while now. So you might have thought in the past, perhaps, about working with me. And if you haven't, by the way, that's absolutely fine. And as you might know, I can help you with creating your product to sell and all aspects of that, and also about selling your product on Amazon. However, I do know that lots of people aren't keen on Amazon, particularly for those who support small businesses. And in the past, I've had people not want to work with me or decline invitations to come onto this podcast because of the fact that I help people sell on Amazon. First of all, I want to say this is okay. Genuinely, I'm not offended. And I do agree that if something goes against your principles, then you shouldn't do it. I mean, I do exactly the same with other things. So I do completely understand this. So if you've been thinking of working with me, you might actually be put off by the fact that I work with Amazon. Well, not with them as such. Amazon is a platform that I'm extremely familiar with, and I support people to get started and grow on it, mainly because I have so many years of experience working on Amazon, and it is not the easiest of marketplaces. I know it's not. But I also know that for me, something that might take someone else half an hour, I can sometimes do in 5 minutes. So I do believe that what I offer is a really valuable service. But the thing is, I also support small businesses. I also shop for small businesses. And I don't think these two things are necessarily exclusive. I still think that for some products and some businesses, and I say some because I don't think this is the same for everyone, Amazon offers a really good opportunity. For example, loads and loads of people shop there. You possibly shop there yourself. In fact, I'm thinking lots of us probably do. I certainly do. Because people trust Amazon because it's a trusted platform. Probably, you might have your card details saved on there already, which makes it really, really quick and easy to make a purchase in just a click or a couple of clicks. Very few of us want to put our details into a random website and one that, we don't know. So you might come across a small brand, for example, and think, I'd love to buy from them, but is this website secure? Is there a padlock? I haven't heard from them. Will it come? I actually had a really bad experience just before Christmas buying from a website that I'd never heard of. And I have to say, it has put me off a little bit. Basically what happened, in case you're interested, is I ordered something and it did turn up okay, which was good. But then it was broken and I contacted them and I didn't get a refund. I didn't get a reply. They told me they were going to send me a replacement. They haven't. And in the end, luckily I paid via PayPal and I was able to go through PayPal to get a refund. I submitted everything, all the pictures that I'd sent to the brand. I sent them directly to PayPal and they said, yes, this doesn't sound right. And they just gave me my money straight back, which was brilliant. But as you can imagine, it's a little bit of stress and something you just don't need. And it has put me off shopping with websites that I've never heard of. But for most of us, Amazon feels really secure. Most products will be delivered the next day. If you do have an issue, it's super easy to get a refund or to return the item. So for lots of reasons, people shop there. I have to say as well, as an aside, if I did want to shop from a small brand now and I couldn't find them on Amazon, I would also look on Etsy because Etsy is obviously a great marketplace for for small brands. So just putting that out there as well. Amazon is certainly not the only place that I would shop with small businesses, or that I would suggest that small businesses list their products. And selling on Amazon isn't the same as trying to get people over to your website, in a good way, in my opinion, because if your product is what people are looking for, it can be a lot easier to convert them into buyers than on Google, for example, as they're usually on Amazon to shop in the first place. So yeah, there is some SEO involved in getting it right. So I've spoken so many times about how if you decide to list your product on Amazon, you really need to do it well. You need to have a great product listing. You need to have fantastic images. And importantly, you need to make sure your listing contains all of the terms that people will be searching for if they're looking for a product like yours on Amazon. And of course, once people are on Amazon, there are tools and strategies you can use to help get traffic to your listing, for example, paying for traffic. This isn't what this episode is about, but I will say, because I've said this before, I might as well say it again. If you decide to list your products on Amazon, you will need to do something to get people over to your listing. It honestly isn't enough just to get a great listing put up there. You do have to do more. That's completely off topic. However, I feel it's worth mentioning because I say it all the time and I feel like it's one of those things I just can't say enough. So also, if you decide to sell on Amazon, you can use Amazon FBA, so fulfilled by Amazon, which means that you can offer prime delivery to customers, which means that Amazon can store your product and ship it out for you. And they can most likely pack and dispatch orders faster than you can, if you even want to, albeit at a bit of a cost. It means that delivery and even returns are pretty easy and quick for the customer. There's no argument if they want to send something back. You might remember on a podcast episode last year, Cara Sayer spoke about making the buying experience as easy as possible for the customer. And I'll be honest, I couldn't really agree more. Yeah, it will cost you as a seller a little bit more to use Fulfilled by Amazon, but it might be worth it if it helps customers buy from you. And of course, if you've got the margin to do so, because I fully appreciate that not everyone will. And finally, you can sell globally. So there are Amazon marketplaces all over the world. I think I counted 18 at the last count, but I actually think it might be 19 now. It grows really fast. So there are plenty of opportunities for expansion. I always suggest starting off selling in your own country, or at least only in one marketplace, whichever one you choose, as that makes the logistics a bit simpler. And then once things are up and running, you can look at expanding. And now on Amazon, just as an aside, it's much easier to sell in Europe, for example, without paying all the duties, because there are sort of things you can do within Amazon to keep all your stock in the UK and fulfill European orders using that. And it gets around lots of the paperwork and the fees that are needed if you would going to send your product in bulk to Europe, for example. Again, that's an aside. If you want to talk to me about that in more detail, you can just get in touch. But yeah, that's just a little bit about why I think for some companies and some products, Amazon is a great opportunity. As I said before, I don't think it's right for everyone, and I would never, ever try and talk you into it. In fact, if I'm honest, I'm more likely to try and talk you out of it because I'm nice and I'm polite, but ultimately I want you to succeed. And if I don't think Amazon is the right place for you or your product, I will politely tell you that, and I will tell you the reasons why, because as I've said before, it's not an easy marketplace to get started on. A lot of work goes into it. You're going to have to spend some time or some money or possibly both to do it really well. And I wouldn't want to suggest that you do that unless I thought there was you had a really good chance of succeeding and of your product selling. I should say again, that does take time and money. And you're not going to do amazingly well overnight. Some people do, but fewer and fewer. I have lots of episodes on selling on Amazon, and you can listen to all my reasons for this over there. So I won't sort of say everything again here. What I will say is I do offer a strategy session where I can research whether there's a market for a product like yours on Amazon, and I will share that with you. And I will also share, if I feel like there is potential for your product on Amazon, exactly what's involved in setting up, launching your product on Amazon, and how to do it really well. Of course, that means that you could spend a few £100s with me to find out that actually I say I don't recommend you doing it. But I still think that's much better than spending a lot more money plus a lot of time finding this out after you've done all the hard work getting set up. So what I mean here is I don't want you to spend all that time and effort getting set up on Amazon and then just finding actually I'm not making any sales, and it's because this marketplace is completely saturated, or because there's another seller who's been on there for 10 years and they're just getting 99% of the sales for that particular niche or whatever it is. So ultimately, I guess I see my goal as helping you to understand whether Amazon might work for you, making it clear what's involved, simplifying it as much as possible because it isn't simple, and then helping you either to get started selling on Amazon or to optimize what you have on Amazon already to sell even more. So in other words, I'm not here to tell anyone, including you, that you should be selling on Amazon. But if you want to sell on Amazon, or you want to even think about, okay, could this be an opportunity for me? You know where to come for help. You can go to my website, which is vickyweinberg.com. You can send me an email, which is vicky@vickyweinberg.com. That's Vicky with an I. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me everywhere. And the links to contact me, as always, will be in the show notes for this episode. So I appreciate this is a very short episode. They can't all be long, can they? And there's only so long I'm sure you want to hear my voice for. But I did think this was a useful one to record, because I am aware that sometimes people go, oh, well, I'd quite like to work with her, but then again, she does work with Amazon. Just to reiterate, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. The way I see it is, if this is something that you're interested in, I have a lot of experience and I can often do things quicker and simpler than it would be for you to figure it out yourself. So the way I see it, I'm just offering a service, and if you're interested, then that's brilliant. And if you decide, you know what, Amazon isn't for me for whatever reason, that's great too, because as I say, it definitely isn't going to be the right place for everyone. So thank you so much. This is my first solo episode of 2023, but obviously I have a lot more to come. If there was anything in particular you'd like me to cover, any questions you have for me, as always, you can just send them over, and yeah, that would be great. I always love to know what you would like to hear me talking about. So I'm going to close out this very short episode now, and I will speak to you again in a few weeks. Thank you so much for listening right to the end of this episode. Do remember that you can get the full back catalogue and lots of free resources on my website, vickyweinberg.com. Please do remember to rate and review this episode if you've enjoyed it, and also share it with a friend who you think might find it useful. Thank you again, and see you next week. If you've been inspired to start a podcast in 2024, I really recommend my podcast host, Captivate. Captivate were my top pick when I started podcasting 4 years ago, because of how easy it was for a complete novice like me to get started. I've stuck with them for the last 4 years because Captivate is still really simple to use. They keep adding great new features, like the ability to share ads like these, and they've just been really reliable. So when you're ready to start your own podcast, you can use the link in the show notes and get a free 7-day trial with Captivate.